Hi, everybody. You're listening to the Spin Market Report on the Spin Market Podcast Network, where real stories meet real impact. Our podcast network has thousands of local and regional listeners tuning in each week. That means businesses are getting heard and communities are staying connected. Did you want to get your brand in front of a highly engaged audience? Contact Spin Market today at www.spinmarket.com for more information. Now let's get into the episode.
It's the Spin Market Report. Here's your host, Peter Stockdale.
Awesome. We are back. It's Marketing Monday.
Marketing Monday, as it always is at Spin Market.
These episodes come out every Monday, so subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Because this week we're sitting down with Rod Johnson. Rod, you are the man at HorseTech. You run the company. You started it, correct?
I did.
Nice.
Yes, I did.
Let's start right there. How did it start? Like, what was the cause to start HorseTech? What is HorseTech?
HorseTech is a company that manufactures nutrition and health supplements, dosage form supplements, I guess is the right word, for horses. And we also have a kind of a side entity called PupSup.
Oh.
It's kind of the same location and everything, and we do the same thing for dogs.
Nice.
So I came up to Northwest Iowa in early '90s, and my father had a business in where I'm located now that made products for commercial livestock. Okay. Primarily hogs, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came up here, I kind of knew that was kind of at the tail end of its lifespan. Its bread and butter was the family farm, pork producer, 100 sows, that kind of thing. And that essentially just went away with corporate farming. And
oh yeah,
the big corporate farms had their own feed mills, their own nutritionists, everything. So the need for a feed company to them just didn't exist. So that business kind of went south. It was going south when I came in.
That was mostly just pork producers, like you were saying, right?
Yeah, and some beef and a little dairy and so forth. My father and his partner, they also owned another business here in town called Advantech. You probably know Mike.
Oh, sure.
You know Mike Shupman.
Yes, yes.
So Mike was the manager of that business when we owned it, my partner and I. And I think he's since retired.
I don't know the answer to that. I haven't talked to him for a long time.
I think he owns the business or
he
did.
He was the number one person there, at least.
Yeah. So anyway, my partner and I, as the things were kind of going south, so to speak, I took Ration Maker Products and he took Advantech.
Okay.
And so I ended up with essentially a building and a business that wasn't doing real well. And I was looking at doing other things. And this was like 90, 98, 99, somewhere in there. And I was playing around. The internet was just kind of in its infancy. There wasn't a lot of commerce on the internet. It's about the time that Amazon started.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and we have an Amazon warehouse coming to Fort Dodge.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So if that tells you anything, see, if you think pre-Amazon, there wasn't a lot. There wasn't big entities.
Yeah.
And my kids at the time were involved with in high school sports, softball and baseball. And I really enjoyed that kind of stuff. And I was kind of thinking, well, maybe I'll sell athletic stuff online. And I secured a domain, bigfly.com.
Okay.
I still own it. But
were you thinking fly fishing or what?
Well, Big Fly is another name, something you don't hear it often, but it was a term used for a home run.
Oh, okay. All right.
He hit a big fly.
All right.
So bigfly.com, and I was thinking baseball, softball stuff, and I found out real quick that the people were really scared of the internet. They did not want you selling our athletic stuff, Rawlings, Spalding, people like that, the big names, Nike, whatever. they thought, well, that's going to ruin it for the brick and mortar stores we have out there. So so the barriers to entry for athletic stuff online they were just like, okay, that's never going to happen. So in the meantime, I had an accountant, and he and his wife had horses. And he came in one day and he said, my wife has an Appaloosa horse with kind of bad hoofs and a crappy mane and tail. And can you make a hoof supplement for me? And I said, well, yeah, I can do that. What do you want? And he says, well, I want a little bit of flax in it. Flaxseed is something that's been used forever for horses. And, the basic stuff. And so I made the product and gave it to him, and his wife liked it, and then her friends kind of wanted it, and so we were making a little bit of it. And he comes in one day and he says, you should just forget about the baseball stuff, and you should sell this horse thing online. And so I went out and I got a Microsoft front page program.
Okay.
You've probably never heard of that.
That's for making websites?
Yeah, it was for making websites. I think it was
I came up in the Dreamweaver era, so it's same but different.
Yeah, I eventually ended up with Dreamweaver. But in fact, I got a bunch of Dreamweaver books if you want.
I do not need them, thank you.
I got in a Dreamweaver Facebook page and offered them to anybody that wanted them. So if anybody out there wants some Dreamweaver books, I got them.
I might still have a computer with the old early 2000s software. Maybe it'll come in useful.
Yeah. So this was back in the day. Again, you could buy a program. You didn't have to rent it,
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was $19.99 or $29.99. Well, I think it was $19.99, and if you really wanted the book, which was about this big,
yeah,
that was like $29. So I had a big HTML book and a $19 program, and I built a website, and HorseTech.com. I secured that web name, domain, and I put it out there. And this was like, I think we incorporated, I don't know why, but we did, in December of 1999.
Okay.
I put this product out on the market, and I gave it the name BioFlax 20. It had 20 milligrams of biotin, which is important for hoof health.
Okay.
And flax, because that was kind of the base material we used, and bio meaning life, I guess. So,
yeah.
Anyway, it's really hard to name products.
So you didn't necessarily grow up around horses then?
No.
Or it was just kind of you saw a gap in the market, or somebody had a need and you helped fill the need?
Well, it just somebody asked me to do it. Really. I mean, he had a need and I was willing to help, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first product that you ever sold was this BioFlax 20.
Yeah.
And when I went to your website recently, that's not the only product. You have a lot of products on there.
You got a lot of products.
So how do you go from this BioFlax 20 to creating new products? Did somebody else come up and they're like, well, this is good for the horse, I want something, for like the mane or the hair, or was something like what's good for their eyes, or like how did you pick out these different things you were going to go down the line with?
Well, let me go backwards a minute.
All right.
And anyway, that was December '99.
Yeah.
And we're plodding along here, and I had to figure out how to take money online.
Oh yeah, yep.
Which back then
that was hard.
Not easy.
Yeah.
But it was in retrospect, it was easier than it is now, because there was very little in the way of
security,
guardrails, or security.
Fees
and I found this guy. He had a business called ShopCart, I think, and for $25 a month, I think it was, you could just drop in this little piece of code, and when somebody bought something from us, it actually went to his website, did the business, and came back. And then he dropped the money into our account. Mm-hmm. So that was a big thing, finding a way to take money on the internet, because at that time, not a lot of people were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that was December 99. We had one product, put it out there. I was selling it for like $29, something like that, and selling maybe 1 or 2 pails a week. And it came into May of 2000. And we walked in one morning, and we probably had like 6 phone lines, coming in there, and we walk in the morning and all the phones were lit up. Every line was lit up. And the internet was full of orders. Just all of a sudden, one day it happened. And all day long the phones rang. And we're talking to these people, we're taking orders, and we're all looking at each other like, what's going on? Late in the day, I asked one of these customers, a lady, all the customers are women. They're,
okay.
It's like 95%.
Okay.
So I'm talking to one of these ladies late in the day, and I said, what's going on? Can I ask you why you bought this product today? Why are you buying this product? And she said, you don't know? And I said, no, I don't have any idea, but we've been busy all day. And she said, well, Horse Journal named your product as the best buy for hoof and coat problems.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So
they didn't bother to contact you to tell you about it, did they?
No. And I said, well, my first question was, who's Horse Journal? Because Horse Journal was, it was like a little behind the scenes magazine that everybody knew about it. It was actually called Michael Plum's Horse Journal. And it was, you had to know about it. You didn't see it on the shelf when you went to the bookstore or looked at the magazine rack. You'd see Horse Illustrated and a dozen horse magazines, but you never saw Horse Journal. And it was no advertising. It was like Consumer Reports.
Okay.
They took products, they tested them, and they came out and they said, this is the one we prefer and why, and so forth. So this product, all of a sudden, in one day we were in business.
That's
It
wild.
sounds like what we would call an influencer today.
It was an influencer. It was definitely, and the lady who wrote the article was Dr. Eleanor Kellen, and she's still really well known, particularly in the area of horses with metabolic issues. She's kind of at the epicenter of that world. So she's still well known, and she still carries a lot of weight if she says this product is good or bad. Whosever product it is, it's going to have a big impact. But anyway, your question was, how did we decide where to go from there?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think people maybe have misconception, I think, about how business works and so forth. There's some businesses, probably like the labs out here,
okay,
or people like that they get the minds all together and they say, we need a product for this, and this is how we're going to develop it, and so forth, and products spring up out of the lab, so to speak. But what I have found is that the customers have the best ideas.
Yeah.
Because they know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 100%.
Just like the original product. So, you start going to horse shows and trade events and so forth, and you put up your 10-foot booth at that time, and people wander along, they start talking to you, and they, oh, this is nice, but I'd really like this.
Mm-hmm.
This would be great if it had this. And so from there, people said, well, we really like that product, but we'd like to have some B vitamins, and we'd like to have more flax. We want more flax than that. And so our next product, I think, was BioFlax Ultra.
Okay.
Which had twice as much flax, had a B vitamin package, and that did well. And then what really kind of came along after that, people said, well, we still want more flax than that. So BioFlax 20, to put in a point of reference, had about half an ounce of flax per day. The next product was a product called Glansin 3, and it had 4 full ounces of flax, and it had all the other stuff in it from the BioFlax Ultra and so forth. So more flax, bigger serving, more biotin, those kind of things. And that was a product called Glansin 3. It had a German name. The meaning of the word is shiny or brilliant. Marketing-wise, Germans are big in equestrian sport, and you try to name a product is just really difficult. Most English words are encumbered with trademarks, and you try to put out a product called Shiny Horse or something. Well, you're going to have a problem marketing that.
Wow,
So anyway, I started looking for other languages, Latin, whatever. And I thought, the Germans are big in equestrian sport. Let's look at the German book. I said, I want something that means shiny, brilliant, that kind of thing. And just visually, I'd like to have something with the umlaut, the two little dots,
which was a big deal in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right. And, some people today still think we're a German company because we have 2 or 3 German product names. But that product was really, to me, and I always called it our flagship. It was the one that really kind of made the company.
Okay.
It was used by World Cup champions. It's been to numerous. I think the first Olympics we had riders in was in 2004, and we've been in all the Olympics since.
Wow,
so,
that's cool.
We had a World Cup champion, Olympic medal winners, that kind of thing. And they those kind of people. They've got horses that are worth millions of dollars, and they have very specific wants and needs, but most often we would start with that Glanson 3 product and customize it for them. This particular horse has this need, so we're going to do this for that particular horse. So really that product, which grew from the Bioflex 20, it was really, to me, the flagship of the company. I still look at it that way, even though it's not currently in the bestseller list. It's still, I still use it to make a lot of custom blends. I still recommend it for a lot of the performance horses, and I do a lot of custom blends that are based off of that.
Oh, okay. So one of the questions I had here was how difficult was scaling, or how did you go about scaling your company, as it grew? And I feel like you kind of explained it pretty well there, where you had one person with a want or a need, you filled it, and then somebody says, this product is good, and now all of a sudden you're kind of going all day trying to fill these orders, and you kind of just went from there. Well, the customer wants more flax. All right, here's more flax. We want B-Vite, we want XYZ, and you just kept adding stuff in there. So were there any challenges you faced while trying to scale this up?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, again, in the early 2000s, I don't know if scaling was a thing that was really talked about. But, I mean, if I look back, I'm glad we didn't grow overly fast. I mean, I'm sure I would have been grateful for that. But that day when the phones lit up, we didn't have enough pails. Wow. I mean, we were buying, a dozen pails at a time or something. And now we had, orders for 20 or 30 or whatever that one day. And, so scaling, to me, I've always kind of thought that we were fortunate to grow, organically and at a rate that we could handle. We didn't have to go and borrow a lot of money. We've always worked with, once we got out of it, I had debt when I started from the old business.
Okay.
But once we got out from under that debt, we've really operated without borrowing money. So I have friends that grew businesses, and they started out by going and raising, $6 or $8 million in capital markets and just trying to be big or actually being big right off the bat. And those people, the businesses may still be there in some form, but those people don't own the business.
Yeah,
because they brought in private. They brought in money from somewhere else, and then, they had to sell off equity or whatever, and they're out of it. And that's kind of not what I want. I wanted a business that was good for me, good for the family, good for our employees. And so scaling was just, to us, it was just a natural thing of more products, meeting new customers, and just growing at a pace that was manageable for us and our employees, and not having to burden ourselves with a lot of debt.
Honestly, I think that might just be like, that's the soundbite for this episode right there.
Very much so.
I mean, it's almost necessary to go into some debt to start a business. You don't really want to dump all your own money into it, and then if it goes under, you're kind of out. But you kind of have to start with debt. But then once you start making some money, scaling without taking on more debt is not always easy. So you found a way around that, and not only that, but to do it in a manageable fashion for your company and for your employees.
It seemed to work, and the previous business that I had, everything was sold on credit, to dealers and so forth. If the farm markets were not good, you weren't going to get paid, or you're going to get paid last.
Yeah.
And sometimes you didn't get paid at all. But with this business, the day that the product went out the door, you had your money.
Oh, cool.
Because credit card, it was all credit card business. And so, we had the cash flow. And again, at this time, one of the big things talked about was just in time.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard that concept, but you wanted your ingredients to be arriving just in time for you to make the product.
Oh. Didn't want to stockpile it at all.
No, you wanted it was lean.
Yes.
That was another word that was talked about a lot.
Yes.
We're a lean manufacturer. We do just in time. And a lot of that came, I think, from people studied the good things that happened in like Japanese manufacturing, car industry, and so forth.
Oh yeah.
And how they managed their inventory, and it was like the day that they were going to assemble this, the parts were on the dock, and it was so they weren't stockpiling 6 months worth of stuff. It was just in time. It was very lean, and that's what we tried to do. And I always tell people, we were very good at it because we didn't have any money to do otherwise.
It was just that way.
Yeah, we were lean, again, not by design.
Yeah.
It wasn't something we cooked up in the lab. This is how we're going to do it. We were lean because,
out of necessity,
right.
Almost, yeah.
Right, and the nice thing in Iowa, a lot of the ingredients are readily available here in Iowa because they served the feed industry over the years. And so you had people who were making rounds with deliveries of ingredient type stuff every week. So you didn't have to lay in a 6-month supply of something because you knew that XYZ Supply was going to have a truck in on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, and that worked really good. Where you run into problems with something like that is when you get into something like the COVID thing, where things are in tight supply, and you're running lean, and now you can't get something, or people say, well, we've got an allotment,
Oh, so you're only going to be able to get so much of it.
You're going to get so much of it. So.
Oh, wow. That makes me think. So if it's a base ingredient for a handful of your products, now you have to choose which one of your products you're going to end up putting it into.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So the COVID years, or it was primarily during the Biden presidency. That was the time period. You had kind of a double whammy of tight supplies on some stuff, and then in addition to that, you had inflation, which was at levels that were not ordinary.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think it just turned everyone upside down. Like, I don't think anyone really knew what to do from like a business standpoint. Everyone needed to make more money somehow, but they had less capabilities to do so. So
Right.
the buck kind of got passed along all around to the next person down the list, and then eventually it was down to the consumer. It felt
Right.
like, and that was a very difficult time for a lot of companies.
It was.
Big or small.
It was. So I don't know if I addressed your question about scaling, but again, for us, it was something that was we were fortunate that it happened in a manageable way.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of talked about some of the challenges, though, too. Was like scaling was one of those challenges. I remember reading on your website, everything used to be mixed with a small hand crank mixer, something to that capability, and now it's not one person turning it. Now you actually have machines to do some of this stuff, or like to some capabilities for some of the products. But like that's something that, you started from like basically humble beginnings, scaled up to this. But one of the things I do remember seeing is you've been consistent with one thing with all your products. Every time you ship something out to somebody, they get cookies.
They do.
How did that start?
Yeah.
I stashed the cookies over there.
Yeah, I brought some cookies for everybody.
Yes.
So their famous name is Cookies. And can I work backwards again a little
Absolutely.
bit? So in order to figure out the cookie thing, I had to first understand that women like chocolate.
Well, I do too. Bring it on.
So I did a few early trade shows, and one of the big ones, and we still do this show, is in November. We do a show in Massachusetts called Equine Affair, and is the first show I ever shipped stuff to and flew out.
Oh, cool.
So I shipped some stuff out, and my wife decided to go out. Now, my wife, Anita.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we went to college together.
Oh, really?
And we both kind of studied the same things, marketing and that kind of thing. She really enjoys things like packaging and advertising and so again, we were the same college, interested in marketing and business and so forth, and so she's kind of always been. It's like having another marketing person in the.
Not a bad thing to have her out.
It's kind of nice, and she'll set me straight once in a while. But so she decided she wanted to go to one of these shows, and so she went to this show with me, and I'm setting up my little booth. Again, at that time, it was just a little 10-foot booth, and I'm working along there, and I get out my little candy dish.
Okay.
And I fill that up with like Jolly Ranchers and peppermints and whatever. Mm-hmm. And she says, "Well, what are you doing?" And I said, "You put this little candy dish here, and then people will wander up, and they might take a little piece of candy, and it gives you a chance to say hello, and you can start up a conversation." And she says, "Well, aren't all your customers women?"
Yeah, you said earlier, like 95% of them.
I said, "Yeah, like 90%, 95. I said, "We don't even talk to the men." They're just there to carry stuff. Right?
Yeah.
She says, "Aren't they all women?" I said, "Yeah, it's all women." She says, "Well, women don't want that. They want chocolate." So, after we set up, we go out to the Target store and get some stuff, and we pick up some Hershey's Nuggets and that kind of thing. And so we come in the next day, which is the first day of the show, and we throw away the Jolly Ranchers, and we fill that thing up with chocolates. And here comes the people down the aisle, and you can just see them. Like, oh, they got chocolate over there. From across the aisle, they would come over. And Anita's like, "Yeah, what'd I tell you?" So anyway, we had established the fact, Anita had established the fact that women wanted chocolates. So again, about this time, we did a lot of reading, magazines. I remember Fast Company reading, that magazine and stuff. The internet was new, and I liked reading about it. I was reading about a company in New York City, and I saw that name pop up here a while back again, and I'm pretty sure it was Cosmo with a K, Cosmo.com, and it was a couple of finance guys, and they started a thing in New York City, order anything you want, and we'll deliver it within an hour in the city.
Wow. Within the city. Wow.
Yeah. And they were doing it on bicycles.
Oh no!
So it didn't matter if you wanted a pack of gum or an Apple computer, you could order it from them. It'd be there within an hour.
They were like the first Uber Eats meets like an Amazon type thing.
It was. It was a big thing. You know, it failed. It failed, but I remember reading that when the guy showed up on the bike with whatever, they always had a little nicety of some kind. They had a candy bar or something, something just to say thank you. And I thought, well, that's really a good idea. You know, we should think about doing something like that. So one day I'm in Casey's and I'm just looking around for a snack, and I see these Famous Amos cookies, and they're like 25 cents back then.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, okay, that's doable. It's chocolate. Let's look into that. So I started looking around, and I found them at Sam's Club in Ames.
Nice.
And I roll in there I took the back seat out of my Suburban. And
That's how many cookies you were going to buy?
And I roll into the Sam's, and, you know, they got those big flat carts, you know.
Yeah.
And I roll up to the Famous Amos pallet, and I just empty them all.
These are like the carts for lumber.
Right. Yeah. The whole, I don't know, 40 boxes, whatever was left on the pallet.
That's hilarious.
And I roll up to the checkout, you know. Of course, people are looking at you.
Yeah, like, what are you doing with all these cookies?
And it's like, okay. And we started putting them in the boxes, and we got so many good comments back, and so we've done that for 25 years now.
You're like the original Sweetwater. I mean, Sweetwater puts candies with their music stuff.
Anita got something the other day, and she got some M&Ms, and we get the Sweetwater. In fact, Sweetwater sent. I told them one time I wanted Laffy Taffy, and that I was upset that I didn't get any Laffy Taffies. They sent me a glass.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Wow.
Full of Laffy Taffies, and every time I order, that's all I get is Laffy Taffy.
That's awesome.
They've actually marked your account. Yeah. You're going to get Laffy Taffy.
They have account managers there. They're pretty good about that stuff.
But I told Anita the other day, she got some M&Ms, and I said, all right, now it's been ruined. I said, I had this idea 25 years ago. Well, I didn't really have it. Cosmo had it. But anyway, I stole this idea 25 years ago, and now I'm going to have to up my game because everybody's going to do it. Right? So anyway, so
you put 2 bags.
Well, we do. If people will request 2 bags. And we have a lot of stories about cookies. If sometimes you miss, they forgot to put them in, and they'll call you.
Oh,
I didn't get cookies, and then but HorseTech is a little different. I mean, we're kind of a different little company. We would overnight them.
Nice.
So maybe $20.
Yeah.
To overnight a
little bag of cookies.
Yeah, and the people would call the next day and say, "Hey, I didn't mean for you to do that."
But they won't forget you.
No.
Bingo.
And we've also had people at trade shows, and I'll say, "Hey, do you like the cookies that we send out?" And the lady will say, "Well, I've never gotten cookies when I order," and the husband's standing behind her going, they steal the cookies.
I can't say I blame them. I have fond memories of Famous Amos cookies growing up at the swimming pool in Humboldt, Iowa, and the vending machine. They were always half melted and delicious. I don't know.
And we see people at trade shows, and we'll see a young lady dragging her friend out. These are the people that send cookies that I was telling you about. So it's been good for us.
That's hilarious.
I mean, that's great. That's a great customer experience, though, too, because it basically shines a positive light on you in a way that, like, I mean, you don't want to be like, you're not known only as the cookie guy, obviously, but it's a great thing to have people also know you for. It's like, well, we buy his products, but he also sends us cookies. So you get to have this 2-pronged effect on them. Do you think that, I mean, I'm assuming it's this way in a lot of markets, but I'm assuming the equine game's a lot of word of mouth, a lot of people that talk to each other. They know each other, they know the suppliers, and they know the demands of the industry.
It is, yeah.
And so I'm sure word of mouth traveled pretty fast with the cookies.
Word of mouth is the best, really. I mean, you know, the thing now is the influencer thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I get that. And you pay people to say nice things about you.
Yeah. Essentially.
When I was talking to my office manager, Jody, I mentioned her. She's great. She keeps the thing rolling. But you know, I've been in sales in some manner or fashion for many, many years. And I think, you know, whatever industry I fell into, I think I could sell you something. Mm-hmm. You know, I could sell you, not you, but people. I could sell what I had to sell. Mm-hmm. And I could continue to sell that. And I was telling Jody, we were talking about this. I said, you know, the important thing is this, is what happens when I stop selling to you? What happens when I don't send you a coupon? Mm. What happens when I don't have a buy one, get one? What happens when I don't have free shipping? Which, by the way, we've always had free shipping. And what happens if, you know, in the case of farm sales, what happens in the case if the salesman doesn't show up for a few weeks? That's the important thing, is what happens when I stop selling? Mm-hmm. Do you continue to buy?
Yeah, so you're not actively reaching out to them. Like, what happens when you're no longer actively going to them and saying, hey, buy this product?
Buy. Or here's an influencer saying buy. When you stop doing that, will people continue to use your product?
Yeah, will they come back to you and buy it anyways?
Right, because that's real. That means you got something. If they continue to buy something and you have stopped really selling it to them.
Yeah, you're just providing them what they want.
Right. So I don't know what happens with influencer marketing. You know, we started out with you know, direct emails, and then you know, we did a lot of print ads in the major magazines for a lot of years, and that sort of thing. And advertising was very helpful. But I don't know what happens with the influencer thing, because again, I don't see. I really don't know what's going to happen when that goes away. Because again, you've got to have something that's real, that people can use, that works, and they like doing business with you.
That's true.
You know, and the influencer thing, I don't know.
So your marketing strategy really hasn't changed a whole lot over the years. I mean, I'm assuming you updated your website a little bit.
Yeah.
You might put your advertising dollars or marketing dollars in a slightly different place than you did before, but everything's still relatively the same. It's basically just good service and a good product, and that sells itself at the end of the day, right?
Good service. Yeah. In fact, I always kid with Anita that if I could make a theme park for adults, it would be Service World. You know, where you would go to Service World and you would get the service that you think that you know, like,
you get what you think you deserve out of it.
Right. Like, you would go to the shoe store and they would whip out the thing and measure up your feet and say, you need a size 12D, you know, whatever, you know, like they used to do.
Yep. They put it on your foot and tie it for you and everything.
Yeah. Walk around in those, sir, you know, that kind of thing. But this, you know, we really keyed in on service. And you know, I have our people on the phones. You be chatty, talk to the people, make friends. You know, they'll. But the bar for service was so low that, you know, it was. I think in a way it was really easy for us to look like superstars. I mean, in respect to service, you order it today, it's going out today, and that kind of thing. You want a custom product, it'll be designed today. We'll mix it and ship it tomorrow. It's just made to your spec. I mean, that kind of thing. We just no hassle, no return, just money back. We've just always keyed in on service, and at the point where I think my accountant, when I started, said, "You're going to go bankrupt if you do the things you're talking about." But people they haven't really taken advantage of us. You have a few people that will take advantage, but for the most part, people are very honest, and if they have a problem, it's a real problem. And the first thing you do is you say, okay, so first of all, right up front, you're going to get a refund on this. So the money's not an issue.
Yeah.
So what can we do?
Yeah, I mean, you're basically like, I've replaced your money. Now let's replace the time you took to buy this with
with a product,
more service, different service. Yeah.
If you make the money problem go away right away, now I'm a lot less mad about things. Right?
It's true.
So I know that I'm going to be made whole, and so now, do you want me to do something? You want to make a special? You want to make a custom product? What? The horse just didn't eat it. What can we do? And let's say the horse didn't eat it. So we might send out 3 or 4 different flavored samples with different flavorings. So I'm going to send you 3 or 4 of these. You can try one. If we hit on one, then we'll send you some more.
Oh, cool. So you're not just making like a whole bucket of something, sending it off, and you're like, well, hopefully it eats this. You're actually, that's awesome.
Yeah. So again, if there's a problem, we make it right, make sure the money's right. Immediately. No hassles. You don't have to ship it back to us. We always say, your horse didn't like it, but some horse will. Take it down to the local equine rescue and donate it, or give it to a friend at the barn. Maybe they'll like it, because the product has value. Yeah. It's just that your horse didn't eat it.
Oh yeah, for sure. That
kind of thing. So just that kind of attitude of making things right, keeping people happy, it goes a long way in your, as you were saying earlier, your word of mouth advertising.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times. I mean, the last podcast that we recorded was with Chick-fil-A. Adam Heinen was here.
Yes.
And that was key. That was like basically top of mind every time, regardless of what happens, customer service. I feel like it's been twisted a lot over the years. The customer's always correct, but at the same time, I also feel like you said it and it was very plain and simple. Like sometimes the bar is so low for customer service at certain places that it doesn't take much to stand out to do the right thing,
My dad always used to say the customer isn't always right, but they're always the customer.
Ooh.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Which is true. I mean, you have to take care of them, because here's the thing, again, I'm much older than you.
Yeah.
I went to college in the 70s. Right?
Yeah, but you still have all your hair, and I don't. I think the world's an unfair place.
He puts a lot of his relationship on his hair.
Yeah. So back in the day, they used to talk about your person's sphere of influence.
Okay.
Okay. So in terms of marketing, and whether you had a good experience or a bad. The feeling was that you as a person had influence over about 20 people.
Okay.
Strong influence. And that was typically your families and your close friends. If you said, hey, I went to this place and I had a terrible meal and they wouldn't take care of me and it was just a really bad experience, those 20 people, when they were looking for a place to go eat, they would remember what you had said and say, well, let's don't go there. Peter said it was just,
Yes, I did. No.
Right. So then outside of that, you've got another ring of influence, which is diluted.
Okay.
And that's your friends, and family. Because they might say, hey, I was talking to Peter and he said that they had just a terrible steak. It's terrible. But and they're deciding where to go to eat, and they say, well, yeah, but we heard that Peter guy. Well, we don't even know who Peter is. That's Mary's friend. Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
So that influence is diluted, and then it's diluted again. So, your sphere of influence back in the day was pretty limited.
Yeah.
Prior to the internet, but now you go out and you jump on Yelp or something.
Yeah.
And you give it a 1 star and say, this is what happened. And you put a picture of your steak or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, look at this grisly piece of, and your sphere of influence is huge.
All of a sudden. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people don't even know you are taking your word for it.
That's right. And so, everybody in that works phones or talks to anybody knows that right away you're going to deal with this problem, because I would rather lose that $100 or whatever the cost of that product was than to have this person hang up, get online and say, I had a problem and these people didn't care or didn't deal with it, because now you've got, not the 20 people, you get 20,000 or whatever.
Wow.
So it's really different today in how you maybe look at how you want to take care of your customers.
So, I mean, that's so good though too, because I mean it shows the volume of influence that people have, even if they're not trying to influence somebody else with their review or whatever it happens to be. And you make a good point. Like, I don't know how many times I go to whatever, the big box company online I'm going to buy something from, and I see a 1-star review, and I always take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah. Unless there's a bunch of them.
There has to be a lot in order for me to be like, okay.
Yeah.
But same thing with 5-star reviews, honestly.
Yeah.
I see 5 stars and it's like, all right, I get it. Show me what the 4-star person said. Right. There had to be one thing that they found,
because they liked it, but there was something about it.
Yeah.
Or nobody's going to have a 5-star in their mind. You're never going to be able to be a 5-star.
Yeah. I mean, those were like my favorite reviews, when it's 4 stars and it just says did what it was supposed to, and you're like, that's perfect in my mind. I'll take it.
That's what you were looking for.
Yeah. Maybe the only reason they gave it 4 is because it wasn't on sale or something.
Yes.
Like that could be the only reason. But oh man, that you brought up such a good point with that. I do say we are kind of getting close to the end of time here, but
I'm sorry.
You're doing
pretty
great.
slow at developing my themes here.
No, but it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of put a pin in this one real quick. PupSup. Did that come about the same way as your BioFlex 20? Somebody had a need.
Yeah. Well, yes. So horse people are dog people.
Yeah.
So, hey, your product worked really good for my horse. Do you have anything for my dog? And that was probably first and foremost, it was things like joint supplements. Things because people with old horses tend to have old dogs too. So, it was you've done well for my horses. What do you got for my dog? And so we came up with that, and we're trying to do more with that. We're trying to get into chews. My son Connor, he's working with us. He's out in Fort Collins, Colorado, and he's been trying to get some chews put together for us. The little like gummies for dogs.
Gummy things.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. That's big in the dog world. The chews.
Yeah.
So, but if you think about it, so many people have dogs relative to the number of people that have horses, and sooner or later the property values, you wouldn't think of that, but to have horses, you need property. And a lot of times those are around cities, and as the cities grow out, that property becomes so expensive that when it's handed down to the next generation, they're not able to keep it, or they don't want to keep it because it's so valuable. Mm-hmm. And so that horse ownership goes away. Many of our horse customers, they don't have any property though. The horse stays at a barn with a trainer, and the owner maybe it's a lawyer or a doctor, come and ride the horse on the weekends.
Yep. I didn't know that was a thing until like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a huge thing.
Yeah, there's actually one in Humboldt, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
There's a horse barn there.
Yep. So
there's actually probably a couple. There was one at the fairgrounds for a while too. Mm-hmm. Holy cow!
Yeah,
wild. So I guess that has been a thing for a while.
Yeah.
So this is another question. This might seem kind of weird, but did your business acumen, your customer service, the way you went about doing this, which again I will say, it felt like a very conserved and correct and measured way to go about doing this. Customer service is at a 10 all times.
Yeah.
Do you think being from Iowa influenced any of this, or being in Iowa, if you didn't directly come from Iowa, do you think that the area around us here, because that's kind of just how we are as people sometimes, generally speaking,
Iowa nice?
Yeah. I mean, that's been put in quotes a lot lately on the internet, but at the same time, it's, we're people that help you fix a flat tire or whatever it happens, just anything we usually kind of help our neighbors out. Do you think that it kind of influenced you to be
I think
who you
so.
are?
I think so. And I think also, I think a lot of it, my attitude towards some of my business things goes back to how my father was. And he was a very kind, nice person, and how he treated people. I saw that. And, you try to bring some of that in. And, my wife, Anita, she's very nice and outgoing and can talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And but I also just the staff that I have, and again, I'll mention Jody. She's been with me a long time, and several of the people that work for us are family members of Jody's. I guess we've always said, look, I would. It's easier to find nice people and teach them to do the job that you want to do than to try to find somebody and teach them to be nice.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So we like low to zero drama. Mm-hmm. And we don't tolerate a lot of drama. And so when we hire people, I always tell, we hire adults. For a long time, I didn't have a time clock. I figured, you're an adult. You'll show up and you'll go home when it's time. I don't need to, and I don't have like foremen, and everybody's kind of at the same plane. We all are adults. We have a lot of people that are retired and have come back. They want something to do. I shouldn't say a lot. We're a group of about 12, but we've got some young, we've got some old, but they're all nice people. And so I don't have to tell them to be nice to the customers because they're just
naturally nice.
Yeah, because when we need somebody, we start talking about who in town would be good for that. Mm-hmm. We kind of actively go seek them out and see, would you like to work for us? We know what kind of person you are, and I think you'd be a good fit. And often they'll say yes. So, I think Iowa is it's been good. It's a good place for our business in that I think our cost of production is pretty reasonable compared to if you were on the East or the West Coast. Mm-hmm. If there's a negative, it's that we're shipping to the East and West Coast. Yeah. Our shipping costs are.
Well, you're either next to the customers or next to the the product that you're gonna so.
Yeah. But Iowa's been great. Small town. It's been a great place. Our kids are grown and gone, but it was a great place for them to grow up. And my house is, I can see my backyard out my office window. And
oh, fun.
So it's been a good thing.
All right, I only got a couple questions left. So is there something about HorseTech that maybe we didn't discuss in this podcast that you'd like everyone to know? I mean, we talked customer service. We talked a small handful of the products. This is not all the products you offer. You do offer a lot more.
So what is your website?
It's HorseTech.com.
Okay, very simple.
HorseTech.
Got to have a link down below,
Yes.
so you don't even have to type it in. You just scroll down and click it.
Click.
It's going to be awesome. You got social media?
We're on Facebook.
All right.
I think we do a little on Instagram. We're trying to do. I've got a young lady in the office. It's Jody's daughter.
Nice.
And she's taken an interest in that, and she's a barrel racer.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
So she's at events, and so she's trying to try her hand at creating some content and that kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
Good.
Well, I'll put links down below for all the good stuff because that's where it's all going to be at down there below.
What was the question you asked? Is there something else?
Something about horse tech that you want people to know that they might not already know. Maybe we didn't discuss it in this episode, and you want to kind of just let everybody listening know.
Probably everybody that's out there that's going to hear this is shouting, "Tell them this." For the
You never mentioned this.
for the life of me, I think I've run out of things to say.
We're going to have to talk to Anita on that and ask when was the last time that
Anita,
Rod...
Anita was, when I met Anita, she was so quiet, would not,
That's not her now.
And now you know her now.
She's very outgoing.
She was very outgoing. Will talk to anybody, and particularly musicians and that kind of thing. So, yeah.
All right. This has actually been really fun.
It has.
This is something where
I knew nothing about this.
I've known. You've known Rod,
Yes.
and I've known Rod for years in different capacities, and I didn't know almost anything about this when I reached out and was like, "Hey,"
I just knew him playing the guitar.
Yeah, that's basically me too.
I'm also the mayor.
I did know you were the mayor.
I did know that. Yes, I did know that.
Yes, he is a city official, ladies
And he gives
gentlemen.
out cookies.
He sends cookies all over the U.S., probably the world, honestly.
And I did, as you know, I owned a little online newspaper.
Yes,
for
yes.
a number of years.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
This is wild.
Yeah.
All right. So we're getting down to the end of this. I ask everyone the same question at the end of every single episode, and everybody answers a little bit differently. So I'm excited to see what you say to this. Is there a time in your life where marketing influenced you? You possibly didn't realize it until afterwards, or is there a way that marketing's impacted your life?
Oh gosh. Again, my degree was in marketing, and I kind of think of marketing affects everything. And Anita reminds me of a class I took in college, and it was persuasion.
Well,
and my paper was, how will I persuade Anita to marry me? So I guess
It worked.
I guess what I'm saying is, for me, kind of everything's a marketing. I look at things from a marketing perspective, and I look at packaging. I look at everything as to how people do that. How did they sell that to me? Why in the world did I buy that? You get home and you think, why in the world did I buy that? And you realize you were marketed to, and
100%.
I'll an example, Williams Sonoma. I like to cook, and Williams Sonoma sells cooking stuff, and they hit my email probably 3 times a day, and they just wear you down, and so you wonder why you buy something. They just wore me out, I had to own it.
I feel the same. I can't tell you how many times I've came home from shopping, you open up your bag, you're putting stuff away, and you pull something out and you're like, yeah, I remember buying this. Yeah. I don't, like you said, I don't really know why I bought this. In the moment, it felt right, so I threw it in the cart, and then it's just at my house.
Well, I have to tell you, I drove to La Crosse, Wisconsin, Saturday.
Okay.
To Dave's Guitar Shop. I don't know if you know about Dave's.
I do not.
Oh, man. Well, you got to look that up.
All right.
I spent 4 hours in there, and I didn't buy a thing. This is terrible. This is terrible.
That's hilarious. Well, I'm sure it's not for lack of want.
It was just, it was just overwhelming. You got to see this place.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody's mentioned it before, but that's the musician coming out and rod me.
Right.
Check out HorseTech down below. I got all the stuff down in the descriptions, and say hi to Rod if you see him out and about.
Yeah.
If you have a horse or a dog, he's got stuff for dogs as well.
We'll
Check
have
him
to
out.
talk to him about Sadie.
Oh yeah. Actually, yeah.
Well, we're always good with samples if you need to try something.
Okay.
We're always good. And I appreciate you having me today. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good.
Absolutely.
I hope that I didn't ramble on too
No,
much.
no.
This has been really interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, it has. I mean, doing the right thing by the customers and you know,
That always works.
it always works. It's so good, especially when you're customizing products for customers if they need it. I mean, it's up one end and down the other. It's customer service. It's very, very, very good customer service, which goes a long ways in this world. So
That's right. Well, I have one thing that we've started doing as well. This is Buster,
Yes.
and he's our famous bulldog here, and we're bulldogs for getting people online and being found. But if you rub Buster's head, you get good luck.
Really?
Yes, and look how shiny he's gotten. Yes, Buster loves that, don't you, Buster?
Rob, this was really good. Thank you very
thank
much
you.
Yeah,
for joining
thank you
us.
all. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy watching it, who's ever out there. So.
Yes. Well, you like and
Like, subscribe, and share.
there you go.
Yeah,
Yep.
like, subscribe, and share. That's right.
I
Get
love
on
it.
here. It should be something that everybody should
And
be looking at.
Maybe we'll be the next horse journal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
you.
You never know.
Who knows?
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarketwith2ks.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarketwith2ks.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarketwith2ks.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarketwith2ks.com.